Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my first ever podcast sampler. I will save myself some time and tell you to read the description for more details, but this is hopefully the beginning of a new series that I plan on doing. And I apologize for any background noise, it can't really be helped. So, this episode is going to be 5 tips on writing, or just how to start writing and write the best story that you can. My first tip is always bring a notebook with you wherever you go, or write in your phone notes on your phone. I used to always bring a notebook with me that was a little red notebook that could fit in my pocket, and I would just scribble down ideas, because inspiration, when you're writing, inspiration can hit you at any point. You could be in the grocery store, or you could be listening to the radio and a song inspires you. You never know, especially when you have a creative brain. So always make sure you have some means of writing down that idea, because you honestly never know when inspiration is going to hit, and the worst thing is not having the means to write it down and then forgetting about it later. My second tip is word vomit, edit later. And what I mean by that is when you are first starting on that story, you are writing word 1, your first draft is always going to be messy. My first draft of my current novel was such a dumpster fire. I never thought I was going to be able to fix it. And now it's almost ready for publication. And I'm really proud of the product that I was able to make. You just have to not worry about, I don't think I explained that correctly, or, I don't think that I have, the character described very well, or I don't even know the setting of the story. That's what editing is for. You're going to be able later on to go back with fresh eyes and look at it, because you'll be surprised at how well you're able to edit once you write something, leave it for a few days, and then come back with a pair of fresh eyes. It really makes a big difference. So yes, word vomit, edit later. My third tip is know things about your world and characters, even if they're not in your story. What I mean by this is they don't have to be big things. They don't have to be, revolutionary to the plot. But knowing things about your worlds and your characters will flesh them out to you better, so that you can write them better. I'll give you an example. My first book is called The Rose Petal. It's part of a series, and I have a character in there named Bella. And Bella has quite a sweet tooth. She really loves chocolate. And that's not in the story. I never really mention it, and even though I still have 4 books to write, I don't think I'm ever going to mention it. It's just a little thing for me that kind of gave her a little bit more personality. She kind of blossomed for me a little bit more, because I know her little, her little niches, her little character quirks. And that way I was able to write her better. My next tip is write what you want. Synopsises can be difficult things, and you can be like, oh, this isn't going to go anywhere, or what the heck was I thinking when I wrote that down? But this kind of connects back to the word vomit, edit later tip, is write whatever the heck you want, and once you edit it, it'll make sense later, I promise you. Because if you don't write what you want, you're essentially not going to be writing the story that you want, or the book that you want, or the poem that you want. You really need to pay attention to your own desires. My final tip of the day is have your friends edit for you. Now, I've been given the opposite advice many times. And I'm not saying that your friends should be your only editors. That would be a big mistake, in my opinion. Have your friends edit for you means friends can often give you honest, in-depth critiques that an editor that you hire wouldn't. I've had friends give me constructive criticism that I've never gotten out of an editor that I've hired. And it's really helped because I bounce my ideas off my friends. I talk about my characters with my friends. They know my characters a lot better than anybody that I could hire. So that is a tip. I don't suggest that your friends should be your only editors. I'm just suggesting that they should be one of them. They should read a draft of your story, in my opinion. So that is going to be the end of this sampler. If I ever do actually make a podcast, the episode will be a lot longer than what I have here. But I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope some of these 5 tips were really helpful to you, because they were really helpful to me, and I learned this by writing and talking to other writers and going to college and having to write poems and everything. So I hope you enjoy.